Hold up, you fucking up the rotation. Puff, puff, give. Puff, puff, give. Fucking up the rotation. You can get killed with somebody else. That's some serious shit.
Say, man, you got a joint?
No, not on me, man.
It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
Be a lot cooler if you did is right. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, cannabis community? It has been a while, has it not? You're gonna probably notice some crazy things in the background. Obviously, y'all know, if you know me, you know my favorite bands. Those are my favorite bands all around me. I got books behind me and all that good stuff. It's a work in progress. It's the new laboratory for our podcasts, for my podcast, whether it be this podcast, which I called it The Session right now, and I didn't really label it that on the outset, simply because I just wanted this to be a conversation and have some conversations with some folks who might know me, who might not know me, might wonder where the hell I've been for the last, God, it seems like a year, but it hasn't. So this is where I will primarily doing my podcast, whether it be This Session, Cultivating with the Cannabis Cowboy, hanging out with BG, doing Square Groupers, doing any of his podcasts with him, and what I call right now The Session. But that's not necessarily why I'm here. See if we got anybody in the comments section. We got a few people on here, but nobody's saying hello. That's fine. That's fine. If you don't know me, I am Bob the Cannabis Cowboy. I started this sometime around the quarantine time, where a good friend of mine, BG, and another good friend of mine, West Coast Cowboy Tyson West Coast, said that I need to bring my massive knowledge of cannabis to the Cowboys fan club, the fan groups, and anyone else in the world who is a medical patient who wants to learn how to grow cannabis, who's never done it before. That's the reason why I started this whole damn thing. And I've got a Patreon going here. It's been going on for a while, but as I said, it's been quite a while since I've been on. So just to give you guys a quick breakdown of what has happened to me in my life in the last 6 months. Sarah, what's going on, fam? Good to see you as always. Sarah's day one. Sarah's day one, and with everyone as far as I'm concerned. I know she was day one with Built Different, hanging out with us in OAT admin, doing all that good stuff. Cheers to you as always, Sarah, and one of my patrons as well. You know, I've got them going in and out. That's something else I wanted to bring to everyone's attention to. Those of you who have been mid-tier, seedling, doing whatever you're giving me monthly, and you have been for the last 4 months that I have been inactive, thank you so much. There's been about 6 or 7 of y'all that have really helped me out. There was a time where I didn't pay attention because I didn't really think you guys were doing it. And it led up to a little bit of money after a few months. So I just wanted to say thank you so much for that. It's helping. It helped us do a lot of stuff behind the scenes. Right now, we moved into a new house. My wife and I were at a condo. We were doing this at one point, but we were in a house. We are in the basement right now. This is, like I said, where all the podcasts are going to happen from here on out. So as you may or may not know, I have been growing for a very long time, well over 15 years of cannabis. And I've basically been trying to help out anybody who's trying to learn how to grow it themselves. Now, why would you grow it yourself instead of getting it from a local dispensary if you are indeed a medical patient or a recreational patient, whatever the case may be, or if you have a buddy? Why would you learn how to grow it? Well, there's a lot of reasons. First of all, it's fun as hell, and if for a lot of people it is not. It's definitely a job and it's a labor of love, but you get to see exactly what happens with cannabis from seed to harvest, and it's not quite as complicated as a lot of people may have it. Now, growing 4 warehouses filled with cannabis, that's a little bit more freaking complicated. I have limits as a medical patient in Denver, Colorado, and I never go above those limits, and I never will. So when you see my videos, you will never see any more than 3 plants flowering at a time, because that is my legal limit. That's just the way it's going to happen. But in the size of the tent that I have over at my grow space, it's not really a big deal. I'll be able to show you in depth how to do that. But this is really, really for the folks that have not grown anything in their life, or maybe grown once or twice, maybe failed, or trying to find some other ways to get it done. They have signed up for my Patreon and have given me money on different levels, which will get you different. It'll get you different tiers of help. Um, Brandon, what's up? Back in the lab. Be red. I know you call. Listen, King Sharon is what you're from here on out, dude. But you're be red to me for the rest of my life. Another obviously shout out from Sarah B. Always in the house. Anthony Jr., what's up, brother? Good to see you. Thanks for everyone who's coming to hang out today too. I've got some friends I was going to possibly bring on, but everyone's busy. It's noon here in Denver, so I can't imagine anyone's doing anything but working right now on a Monday. But what I really, really wanted to do was let y'all know that I am in fact back, which means not only is cultivating with the Cannabis Cowboy back, Square Groupers with BG is back. Thanks to Dr. Russell for another amazing intro. The same amazing guitar aficionado monster that did the Casually Serious podcast intro as well, which is another wonderful gift that was bestowed upon me during this whole entire time. But let's see. B Red's sending a message. Still got the stuff and waiting for you to get back in the lab. Going to attempt a couple plants this year. That's good to know. And believe me, when you hear me talking about how the lights I have now are that I upgraded, that's certainly not to say what you have is garbage, because you've already seen me do what I did with the actual lights you have. You can do some great shit. I wanted to try a bunch of different things. I'm constantly growing. I don't know if anybody else out there is like me, but every 5 years I become sort of a different version of the guy I was 5 years before. And I always try and keep it that way. And that's 100% the reason why I have a specific tagline, which is, there you go, keep growing. But I'm constantly trying to grow. So that, my friend, that's wonderful news to hear, man. I know a lot of you guys got some things in the mail, some gifts and stuff like that from Cannabis Clause that you may still be holding on to. Just remind me of whatever those are, and I can show you how to get those started. But again, I'm just back here to let y'all know that I'm here. I didn't disappear, although I did for a little bit. I had to try and find a house, and it was absolutely insane trying to find a house out here in Denver. I don't know where you guys are right now. Do me a favor, if you're out here, you haven't sent anything in the comment section, throw something in there. Let me know where you're talking from. Let me know how y'all been, because God, man, let me see. It's been a long time, and I'm looking real forward to getting some of these strains that I had collected over the course of the quarantine, which I simply just don't think I'll be able to grow in my lifetime. There are so many, and that's another reason why I have friends around here who have been growing, that I've been sharing my genetics with, because it's been easy to do that, which is a wonderful thing. Yeah, B-Red, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, let me tell you, it wasn't that easy. Super hard. The thing about out here is that, and again, the reason why I wanted to ask you to tell me where you're from is maybe you could tell me if you are, in fact, dealing with the same thing I'm dealing with. You might not happen to be looking for a house, but are houses in your area way more expensive than you think they should be? That's really my question, because it is absolutely insane. I'm not going to go into what we spend, but the deal is we suspect that if you were to go into the market and someone has something listed at $500,000, you can offer them $500,000, and you're going to get that for $500,000. And that's not really the way it is. You are not only battling people, a massive amount of people in Denver, which, by the way, one of the reasons that this cannabis legalization is a beautiful thing. It's done amazing things for me and everyone who's in the business out here in Denver. But there's a very, very big problem that came along with it, and that is all of the people who wanted to move here at the same time. The traffic is insane. It is absolutely insane. And there are people who don't have a home that have been looking for a home for years. So my point is, I'm not only battling this person who wants to buy a single family home, I'm battling an investor who has thousands of dollars to outbid me. We just got very lucky on a beautiful house, and we're really lucky to have done so. So, yeah, Michigan, where you can grow and smoke, that's a beautiful thing. That is a beautiful thing. You guys have some pretty high limits out there too. It pisses me off. You know, it not obviously doesn't piss me off for you. It pisses me off for me, considering how long Colorado's been legal. We should be able to flower, and you know, I can grow. I think my limit is 12 to 24 plants, but I can never have any more than 3 flowering at a time. So that's my catch. But at any rate, anyone have any questions at all that may be growing right now? I'm here to answer some of them. Ron, what is going on? Good to see you. It's good to see everybody popping up right now. I just did this kind of spur of the moment thing. I was just like, what the hell? I haven't seen my family in a long time. And I had been looking at my Patreon group, and I was like, damn, these folks are still there 100%. Let me go ahead and get that list too real quick, because I'm tired of, although I like keeping anonymity out there, I'm going to throw just first names out there. So, but yeah, I got 6 active patrons, and again, this is something that I know that happens. People kind of pop in and out all the time, you know, based on money. Because as someone who supports a lot of other supporters, I do the same thing. But thank you for Lenny T, Mike R, Sarah B, Tasha P, Brian H, and Simon S, who have been there for a long time. I know BG was there for a while too, years. Things happen, but those specific people for sticking around this entire time, I just wanted to thank you so much. FR, what's up? How's things? How's things? Things are good. Like I said, I'm pretty stoked. Looking to come to Colorado Springs for vacation this summer. Nice. Yeah, dude, come on, B-Red. Of course, man. I just pulled all my fishing rods and everything out of storage and brought them back to the house. So yes, we most definitely will. Just started your first grow, FR, waiting on your first seed to pop. Let me ask you, how are you popping your seeds right now? Are they auto flower where you might be popping them directly into your soil, or do you have a specific setup? Because I think I might be able to point you in the direction of some really good information. I had a video that I put out a while back, I think, on how I pop mine. If you have not gone to my YouTube video, I'm going to go ahead and post that up here real quick. Yeah, I had a really cool custom URL. I don't really know where that happened on that one. It looks it's kind of whack. Here, let's just go here to my channel. All right, so for those of you, real quick, I'm going to go ahead and post this up here right now. If you haven't gone to my channel, please do so right here. It's going to come up in about 4 or 5 different links. That's my YouTube channel. It had a better URL at the end of it. I don't really understand that. But all right, I'm getting back to you, FR. Don't you forget about it. Bradley Smith, so glad Miss Square Groupers. Yeah, man, we've got a really cool intro. Like I said, Dr. Brian hooked us up with that. Oh my God. What is the best way to germinate seeds? Be red. That's going to be jumped right in here with FR's answer right here. White Widow autoflower. See, I'm glad I asked you that. For those of you who don't know, autoflower seeds are, or autoflower strains are bred with ruderalis, which cause themselves to flower after a specific amount of time. It has nothing to do with your light cycle. So when they say, oh, dude, my environment is perfect for me to start flowering right now, I'm going to start flowering. And the reason why people plant that directly into soil as opposed to germinating them in the way I like doing it or the way other people do it is really simply because you don't want to stress those plants out. When you get them into the environment, they sort of birth themselves in. You don't want to necessarily move them to another pot or move them to another pot. They have such a short lifespan that the less you do to those plants, and that includes trimming, things like that, the less you do to those autoflower plants, the better off you are, because some of them can be really, really wacky and do some wacky things. They might die on you. They might start showing some nutrient block and things like that. But at any rate, FR, you planted directly into cocoa. kudos to you, man. I tried to do that a long time ago, and I just got shit results. I guess I'm so used to when I was growing up in Miami as a young person, throwing them in just really, really nice, rich soils. I got really spoiled, and didn't, and the amount of intelligence I think and nutrient knowledge it takes for you to grow in cocoa. Like people like you, look up to you because you're starting with nothing. The cocoa coir is just a base. It's just a medium, and then you have to add all the nutrients that you would normally get in a soil to do that. So kudos to folks like you who can do that. I eventually might get there, but um, if you go check out my videos, and again, I want you to know that when you go to my channel on YouTube, the first many of them are going to be casually serious podcast videos because I shoot them to both channels, TCSP and my page, just because I want my cultivating with the Cannabis Cowboy fans to check that out as well, because I think there's some good stuff in there. But if you scroll beyond that, somewhere between all the concert videos I had and that information is how I germinate my seeds, how I preserve my seeds for at least 10 years with microcentrifuge tubes. There's a video on that as well. You can go ahead and check that out. But so yeah, I look up to folks like you who are who are doing that directly into cocoa. But White Widow, the good thing about White Widow is you're not going to have a lot of the problems you'll have with some of these other strains. So White Widow is one of those things where one of those strains that they're so strong. I don't want to call them beginner because every seed you plant in the ground or in your medium, whatever, it's a beginner seed. So that strain could do whatever the hell it wants because every seed's different. But you know what I'm trying to say. The White Widow seems to be one of those strains where you can sort of let them grow and they'll do what they need to do, and you don't really need to worry too much about that. Yeah, don't be laughing at me, man. Fuck, man. Be Red, when will the Casually Serious podcast be back? That's a great question. We don't have that answer, but believe me when I say it's probably within the next 2 weeks. I know that my podcast friends have been looking at me like, hey, dude, we know you move and all that good shit, but when you get into the lab, we got shows to do. So we're going to do something a little different, I think, with that podcast as well, which is going to be pretty sweet. So it just takes me and Ken Man to get together and try and figure out a time where we can actually communicate with each other. But yeah, so my plans here when it comes to one of the first strains that I want to grow right now, I think is definitely going to be pre-98 Bubba Kush. I've had some friends in Florida tell me that's where they, there's a bunch of dispensaries. I don't want to name any of them because they're not sponsoring me, but there's like 2 or 3 out there that run Florida Medical, and a lot of times my close friends like Ken Man and some of my other friends will tell me, hey, I got pre-98 Bubba Kush, and I don't want to say I'm an expert, but I know a lot about that strain. I knew a lot about it growing up in Miami. Cypress Hill was the group of people that brought those clones and seeds over to Florida for us to grow, which we grew for years. Cypress Hill had everything to do with the rise of pre-98 Bubba Kush in Miami, Florida, as well as California. So I love that strain, but that's going to be probably the first one I grow. That's a photoperiod seed, so I'm going to have to go through the full light cycle with them, which means I might put them through a long vegetation process. I like to do that. I grow in a 4 foot by 4 foot wide tent. That's about 6 foot. That's 6 foot 8 inches. I'm 6'3", so it's not easy for me to get around in there, which is why I only grow 2 or 3 of those at a time. And the setup that I'm going to have might only allow me to do that anyway, so I'm okay with that. I've got some other energy issues I might have to deal with, but those will be pretty simple for me to do. But the pre-98 Bubba Kush is something I'm definitely going to get going in the soil. If not, and I start with some auto flowers, I mean, God, I don't know. The real crazy thing is, and the list I have for my seeds is staggering. I can't. There's just so many. Hey Simon, what's up, man? Oh shit. It's good. It's good to see you, man. It's good to see you, Simon. Man, it's so wonderful. So you're gonna have to come visit me when you come out. By the way, any upcoming videos on my setup grow? Yes, definitely. Since the grow is going to be sort of in a different area, it won't be at my house. There'll be small instances of a grow in my house, like really tiny, but nothing big. I just don't want to keep that stuff here. There'll be definitely a video of me setting all of that up. Uh, for sure. Thank you for asking. That made me not have to plug that. I appreciate that. Any chance I can not plug myself, uh, the better. I'm just not that kind of person. But yeah, so listen, here's a list of some of the auto flowers I have: Amnesia Auto, Blueberry, Blueberry Kush, Bubba Kush Auto, which is just another Bubba Kush. There's three Bubba Kushes. Can you see a pattern with Bob the Cannabis Cowboy? C4, which is basically uh, a stronger version of it's like a White Widow Skunk Big Buck mix. So let's see, I got Colorado Cookies, Dark Devil G14, uh, Granddaddy Purple Auto, Gumberry Auto Cross, Gelato G, Glue Gelato, Blueberry, Lemon Haze, Northern Lights, Pineapple Express, Purple Bud, Purple Punch Auto, Runts, Short Rider, Speed Auto, Super OG Kush, which I actually just grew. My last grow is actually Super OG Kush, and it's more of a chocolate flavor, so I call it Chocolate OG. But really good. Matter of fact, I puffed on some of it last night. Not to mention some White Widow and some Skittles. I've got a lot of auto flower I might pop out. Those when I grow those auto flowers, yeah, what the fuck exactly, B Red? Because that wasn't even the list of photo period seeds, which I have at least double. There's no way I can grow that many seeds in my life, but. Oh, all right. Well, I mean, hey, that's I'm not Barry. I'm Bob, but that's cool, man. I mean, I'm sure Barry would love to hear that. He can't watch your streams because that's funny shit, man. Funny shit. First timer, James Thomas. That's you know what? And if you're talking about first timer getting a grow going, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Again, one of the reasons why I want people to learn how to do this is so that you can see what it takes. Even if you do it once or twice and fail miserably, you're still going to get good cannabis if you grow it the way I show you how to grow it, and it'll give you a little bit more respect, I think, to the bud tenders and the people that the actual growers that are growing that cannabis for you if you happen to be going to, um, dispensaries and whatnot. So. Isaac Maya, what's up, man? What's up again? It's good to see you. I'm Bob. Barry's not here, man. Barry's running around doing some family things, man. That's. I tried to get a few people on, if I'm being honest, but I'm actually glad you guys just were able to come up and say hello. Coming to visit me in the next 3 months, hopefully. Yeah, those will be the snowiest months. So. Yeah, Florida will allow growing in the future. Again, thank you for getting me back on track, my friend. Um, when my friends tell me that they have pre-98 bubble kush that they got from the dispensaries in Florida, I don't I don't disbelieve them as I would other people from other places because I know there are truly people who have been growing this whole time for decades in Florida before it was legal that have access to true pre-98 bubble kush clones and probably seed too. So whenever I ask them though, I'm like, hey, does it have that espresso? It has to have a really nice, strong, skunky coffee espresso smell for it to be that pheno that I've loved most of my life. And they usually do. Although I can't. I have to just take their word for it. But so listen, yes, for anybody who doesn't know, yeah, there'll be a lot of. You don't have to necessarily be involved, but knowing is great as far as I'm concerned. Again, your dinner's arrived. Got to go. Be back shortly. Yeah, anytime. Good to see you. Good to see you. Looking to set up an indica garden. That's cool. All right, that's beautiful. Yeah, you like the coffee mug. Hey, man, listen. I'm not gonna not have my products out. You know, there's a select few you folks who have this hoodie. And man, I've seen you guys send me pictures with you wearing it in a lot of fucking hilarious places. Keep that happening. That's the energy that I like to see. Um, Talk about weed, I see. Yeah, yeah. Listen, man, if you want to learn how to grow it, I'm here. I'm here. I am here. But yes, I was gone for a while. I was doing a couple of these podcasts from uh, different areas on my phone. I definitely didn't like that. I like being live the way I am right now. But hey, listen, we've had about 15 or 16 people on here right now. Again, I want y'all to know that we will, in fact, have a couple of different shows coming up, starting again. I'm not exactly 100% sure when we will get the square groupers up and running, but I know BG has already hit me up about it, so he's ready on his end. I just got some production to do on my end before we can keep going with it. Um, Casually Serious podcast is going to continue to go as well. That's going to still be sort of a late night thing. Yeah, I'm going to be here. I'm going to be here teaching anybody who is just beginning to grow cannabis how to grow it. There's a lot of stuff that I don't know. All right, so if you're looking at me and saying, hey, if you look at anybody on the internet and think they're a professional and they claim to be one, listen, we're all learning all the time. Okay, that's the great thing about this. Cannabis is something that we will continue to be learning about to 100%, especially now that we have so many new strains that are coming through that are being bred. A lot of the old stuff that's being bred out. It's the reason why I started my seed collection. What is my favorite strain, Bob? Yes, I don't know if I have a. Do I have any pictures of that up here? All right, my favorite all time strain has got to be, and it always has been, pre 98 Bubble Kush. What I just spent 15 minutes talking about, and 100% the reason is because the California Florida connection was great. A lot of people don't know that OG actually stands for ocean grown. A lot of the weed that we got, the Crippy from Florida, all the way to the Kush on the coast of California. Bubba Kush was sort of created in Florida, and we went back and forth across the country with these strains and clones, and we were all able to share that. But I had amazing pre 98 Bubba Kush in Miami, obviously, because I left in 97, 98 anyway. So I was lucky enough many years later, once I finally moved here to Denver, to go to a place called Wellspring that is now Good Chemistry. And there was probably for about the first 5 months, I shopped there, which is, by the way, the only dispensary I ever belonged to and ever have belonged to out here in the 15, 16 years I've been here. That particular strain of pre 98 Bubble Kush I got from them was absolutely the greatest I have ever known. And I know that was a specific pheno that I might not get my hands on ever again. I get that. I know that the fact that these buds felt like they had been transported in coffee jars is one of the things that made me fall in love with them. Someone who suffers with intestinal issues like myself loved it because of the medicinal value. I'm able to smoke really strong indicas throughout the day, whereas some people don't really function very well. But that's really all I've learned to function with. That's because of the pain relief issue. But Bob is the master of cannabis. I am not, but I'm learning really, really, really well how to get things to work my way. Yes, your favorite is Alaskan Thunder Green. Yeah, that there's I believe the full name of that is Alaskan Thunderfuck. There's I think a Manitoba Thunderfuck. There's a few Thunderfucks, and best believe the Thunderfucks are very, very strong. You don't really get a name like that unless they really are going to Thunderfuck you. Hey, sorry about that language, guys, but that's just the way it is. Surfing community did take part in that, and again, there's a lot of underground. As much as I didn't love the Grateful Dead movement, the Grateful Dead movement has 100% something to do with the reason why we were able to get so many amazing and wonderful cannabis strains. I love the Dead movement. I love the folks. I'm not a fan of the music, but I've got a lot of love for friends who love that music, and I get what they love. It's just, as you can tell by the music behind me, I'm probably not a Grateful Dead head, but that doesn't mean I don't have a softer side, you sons of bitches. But yeah, MTF, there we go. And I don't really get my hands on the pre 98 Bubble Kush out here that I did at one point with them, simply because that grower just disappeared and that strain disappeared. And I have been on a hunt for, man, it's been a very long time. It's been over a decade for me to find really, really authentic pre 98 Bubble Kush in Denver, Colorado. That isn't just Bubble Kush that people call pre 98. There's, like I said, a specific scent. And, that's definitely something that I focus on. But at any rate, I wanted you folks to know that I am in fact back. I'm going to be making sure that content is going to be out there. My particular dispensary that I shop at has of a lot of new strains. So a lot of my strain spotlights are going to be updated. I know a lot of you guys were fans of that. And I appreciate that too. There's going to be a little bit an ease of production for some of that stuff as well. So, considering I have a room that's dedicated just to what I want to do, which is doing this podcast, it's a beautiful thing. But yeah, consider me back, and I'm hoping everybody does come along. I hoped a few people were able to jump on with me, but hey, it doesn't always work out that way. Um, Got any more comments popping down here? No. We still got my branding in there. And anybody who is looking for T-shirts, things like that, all of that stuff is going to be coming back in a big way. I'm hoping to see a lot of support out there, simply because I'm going to have a lot of new content. I'm going to be hitting the ground running really hard, getting these grows started. So I want you folks to be able to see specifically one grow at a time. It's going to take one grow for me to grow all that and record it and then put that out there. So it'll be a little bit of a lag, but I'll be putting strain spotlights out, like I said. But I wanted you folks to be able to see things, how different strands grow from start to finish, which is why I grow. When I do this, I'm probably going to be growing 3 strains at the same time. So you won't see 3 different strains being grown at the same time. That could become kind of a pain in the ass, folks. By the way, I don't know if any of you have tried that. I'm a little bit of a, I guess, sort of someone who likes to keep the environment really, really tight. Shout out to Callie Green, who taught me a lot of things. So I don't necessarily like to have a lot of variables in there, but keeping 3 strains of the same strain to me is a lot easier than having 3 different strains, because they will all react differently. I use the same tent that I grow them in. After I pull them and harvest them, I sanitize the entire tent, and I use that same tent for my drying process. So it's much harder for me to stagger things like that. So if I have a plant that's flowering 2 weeks later than some of my other ones, that I already know that's going to be a problem, because there's no way I can stagger 2 weeks of grow and drying and have something growing and trying to dry at the same time in a tent. So that's not going to happen. But anyway, guys, like I said, I hope you guys will visit my Patreon. Think about throwing a couple bucks my way. It gets you access to a lot of different things. There's 3 different levels I still have out there. There's going to be a lot of merchandise involved from here on out. So I just want to get everybody out there to say thank you to the folks who've been supporting me on Patreon this entire time. But from here on out, anybody who decides to, thank you very much. But first and foremost, this is about a cannabis community and me teaching folks how to grow really, really well and very good organic cannabis without having to worry too much about your bloom boosters and all these things. Now, because what I want to show you is a basic template, and then from there you can add whatever you want to it. I don't ever recommend growing organically and non-organically at the same time, because a lot of those high salt nutrients are going to kill anything you've got organically growing in your soil. And the way I do things is I just let the soil nutrients grow off of each other, and I just supply the cannabis with a place to live and eat, and that is it. Sunlight, water, it's just the basic stuff. The weed's going to grow. The cannabis is going to grow. That's just something I want everyone to know. But yeah, FR, I was saying, so I have upon the list, with the list of the seeds that I have, I also have how long they flower for. So I can basically do a seed to harvest calculation on a couple of different strains. Now, if you're going to grow pre 98 Bubble Kush and like slush or another kind of kush that's along the same lines where you only have a couple days difference in when they're going to start flowering and stop flowering, I think you can get away with that. But as someone who's grown before, you've got that period of time when they're flowering and the oil, the pistils are shooting out. And if you're doing it like I do, where you get a magnifying glass to see what color they are, if you wait too long and they get amber on you, then they're going to start losing a little of their sativa property if you're growing a sativa or stuff like that. So you have ways that you can alter that. You don't want to wait too long. Sort of that, I think that milky color is really the best time to harvest your cannabis. So if you have a strain that's milky with another strain that's clear, that might be a problem. Do you know what I'm getting at right there? So that could be a bit of an issue, which is the reason why I like trying to, at the very least, keep 3 of the same strain growing at the same time, knowing that even phenotypes will act very different from each other. But I want to learn, fam, how to do. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty easy. I'm not going to tell you that it's super cheap. There's super cheap ways to do it, but what you need to know is that this plant that you're growing is going to need a lot of sun, a lot of renewed oxygen at the time. It's going to need a little bit of wind to help them grow, and it's going to need nutrients in order for them to grow properly. So depending on the size of whatever tent or closet you may be growing them in, you need to take into account that if you're going to have them grow side to side as opposed to high, you need to make sure that that canopy that you're growing is getting a lot of light too. So there's a lot of different ways. And if you have a sort of like a dollar number, and you become a Patreon member, and you have a dollar number that you want to throw at me, that I can possibly throw some information at you, like, yeah, hey, I've got $500. What's my setup? What can I do for 500? I could definitely help you with things like that. It's just, be prepared. Understand that it's not anything like just throwing something in the dirt and watering it every once in a while. If you want optimum cannabis, you got to spend optimum time learning about it and optimum time building it an optimum area for you to grow your cannabis in. If not, then you're just going to grow kind of shitty bud. And if that's what you want to do, that's cool. That's cool too. I'm just saying, if we're here for the learning experience, you might as well learn it the right way. Yeah, if you get top shelf, and I'm assuming you get it legally, if you get top shelf, then there's probably a chance that you can get a clone from whoever it is you're getting your top shelf from. Maybe they'll charge you $50, $25, $50 for a clone, if it's, depending on the kind of clone you're getting. From there, I could definitely show you how to grow that. I go from seed to harvest. For many reasons, and Simon can tell you from all the cannabis we've all seen grown in South Florida growing up, that seeds are by far, for me, the strongest plants to grow. Now, am I saying that there are people out there who grow from clone that can't grow plants bigger than me and better than me? Hell no, that's not what I'm saying, man. That's definitely not the truth. They can do that. All I'm saying is, to me, I feel like having a much stronger taproot, a much stronger basis of growth from beginning to end is something I enjoy. Will I be able to cut out a little bit of time by growing it from clone? Yeah, because I don't have to worry about sprouting it, having it in a specific heat in order to make sure that it's germinating properly, and then making sure that it grows through a seedling stage. If you've got a clone, you can pass up all of that and go directly into growing it. But I like taking all the steps. What the hell can I say? Yeah, you can definitely see that. Be prepared to hear no too, depending on where you are, what state you are, whatever the case may be. You might not even be able to be growing right now, but that's something that's becoming few and far between. Since we started doing square groupers and some of my Cultivating with the Cannabis Cowboy podcast, there have been probably 10 or 11 states that have gone legal, and we followed all of that at the beginning, especially during the pandemic, where that was one of the big things that was going on with a lot of states. We were covering a lot of that stuff. So. But yeah, like I said, unfortunately BG couldn't be here, but best part of waking up is some Cannabis Cowboy in your cup. I'm from the UK. That's right. Beautiful, beautiful to hear. So let me ask you this: if that's the case, well, shit, it's a little different out there. I don't want to incriminate you. Every single one of the seeds I got were from the UK or from Spain. I went through Seedsman. I'm a high proponent of Seedsman. Seedsman had my back since, man, let me tell you. And listen, I know everybody. There's been a lot of people who have horror stories about Seedsman.com. I'm so sorry. If those are true, I'm sorry. But from the very beginning of me putting $150 cash into an envelope to send it not over to UK, they actually had an intake store out here in Colorado, I think in 2 cities over. So first of all, was so happy about that. So anybody who wanted to send cash to Seedsman didn't have to send it to the UK or have to worry about their cash getting stolen there. They'd have to worry about it getting stolen from people in the US. But anyway, some of the greatest strains I've ever found are from Seedsman, and I got so many great deals from them, and I think one time the shipping didn't happen. And by the way, I have a lot of those videos are on my channel. I think almost every single Seedsman order I got, I did an unboxing video, and I only did that after seeing them do their own unboxing videos. So when I started saying, well, shit, if they're giving away how they get things through customs, well, that's sort of an ever-changing thing anyway. And I wouldn't even. I have too many seeds right now anyway, dude. I don't ever need to buy them again. So thank you to Seedsman for all those years, 2 or 3 years of dealing with me, asking why it's taking more than a week for it to get from the UK to Denver. That was stupid at the time, but our state was first. Washington should have been growing your own. Washington, yeah, again, by the way, too, Washington, and most states who do allow you to grow, I think other than New York, man, props to New York. They just said, fuck it. You could smoke it anywhere you can smoke cigarettes. They probably let you grow it on your fucking windowsill. But places like Washington, I'm still positive you can't grow it outdoors. Not to mention, I mean, depending on where you are, well, it can get pretty cold out there. I could grow it outdoors if I wanted to illegally in Colorado, but I only have a few months to do that. That's too tough. So I don't do that anyway. In order for me to grow, it has to be in an area that can be locked. And again, I can only flower 3 at a time. So, but 6 days order to arrive. So I've heard a lot of people in the UK have issues because the way it happens over there is it gets sent to a big customs batch. And probably in the UK as a hub, and then out here to either the East Coast or the West Coast before it gets sent to any of the states. Now I'm in a fully legal state where that is actually probably a lot less to worry about. But let me tell you, they've just done so many amazing things. But again, I know people in Australia who are in tears because they sent money, and Seedsman sent their stuff. They just got seized, or it's held up in some place that you don't even know about, and it's just sitting in a batch because these guys are on strike or something. I've just never had those issues when it came to Seedsman, so I will always support them. They've always got their back. I'm trying to coerce a friend of mine who very rarely does podcasts to get up and do it, but he just told me he woke up. So at any rate, yeah, so we've had a lot of people come and hang on, which is pretty cool. Yes, so I'm going to be back. I'm going to definitely be throwing a lot of the cannabis content out there. I was happy that I'm able to actually throw in a shout out to my friend Jay Badnell, who passed away recently. That is actually his Rain and Blood skateboard, his Eddie mask. A few things back there actually are because of him that I inherited. And he was a regular guest on TCSP, and I think he came on to a Square Grouper once or twice. I'm not sure, but he was always quick to do something from his truck. And so I as much as I might not show my background out here, I might have some different virtual backgrounds from here on out. I wanted to give you guys a taste of kind of what I had going on in the background, so that you saw what some of my interests were and things like that. But, yeah, everything macabre, Misfits, Slipknot, Kiss, Slayer, Maiden, all that good stuff, and then thousands and thousands of hip hop songs in between, and everything that you can shake a stick at other than country music. But folks, if you are interested in anything that I do, go ahead and go to patreon.com/Cannabis Cowboy. I am on Instagram at Cultivating with Cannabis Cowboy. There's a lot of different variations I have to use of this name because as someone who is in a cannabis community, it's not fully legal federally. So a lot of these things are some of these videos might not, this video might be blocked 100% in some areas for all I know. But I'm just trying to get enough of the information out there just to let you know I'm back. I'm going to see exactly what video hits what market on my span that I have out here. So I have Cultivating with the Cannabis Cowboy, a page on Facebook. I have Bob the Cannabis Cowboy, which is a profile on Facebook. Cultivating with Cannabis Cowboy on Instagram. And the Cannabis Cowboy at yahoo.com. So I realize there's a couple of other companies too that have sort of the same kind of name, but I don't represent them. I have nothing to do with one. I am Bob, the Cannabis Cowboy. I do not claim to be a dispensary. I do not claim to be doing any of these other things. And everything I do is based on legal Denver laws and practices. So, ladies and gentlemen of the cannabis community, thank you so very much for coming and hanging out with me today. Thanks for letting me reintroduce myself to you guys. And for putting up with my blabbing. And good luck to any of you folks who are actually looking to grow. As I said, if you are looking to grow, hit patreon.com Cannabis Cowboy and check out the 3 tiers that I have. They range from 5 to 15, I think. 15 being a lot of one-on-one information and help that you'll get from me. So at any rate, guys, thank you so much. It's going to be a very cold, quick ending, but thank you for coming by and hanging out. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, keep growing.